Fear. Don't you love fear? That feeling in your chest, it grips you, you can't do anything, it ruins everything. Don't you love it? You don't? I'm here to tell you that fear is your best friend, and you got to be thankful that you have fear. Let's check it out. For example, let's say you have this idea, you better check online how much money you have in your account, in your bank account. But you immediately feel, oh my God, I'll check and maybe it's not as much as I thought and it's going to be really upsetting. I'll put it off, not now. And then you carry around that fear of maybe I do, maybe I don't, for another hour, for another day. It colors all the time that goes on after that. So is that your friend? Let's do another example. Let's kick it up a notch. You're in a seminar with one of the speakers you so adore, and the seminar leader says, I'm looking for a volunteer. And you feel, oh, I'd love to, but then you hold back because you're afraid and maybe people will laugh at you. And then someone else, whoop, they took it, they grabbed it. Now they're with the teacher, with the seminar leader, and you miss the opportunity. And then you kick yourself inside. You say, oh, I wish I were there. I wish I were there. And you drag it along with you for the whole seminar. You're not even in the seminar anymore. You're just, oh, I should have, right? Let's kick it up a notch. You owe someone money and you were supposed to pay today and you can't. So all these things, these hormones get inside here and you know, you should, but you can't. And then you say to yourself, it's not the right time. You convince yourself it's not the right time. And then you carry that around with you for the next day and it keeps coming up again. Okay, let's kick it up a notch. You're standing next to a footbridge. You're on an outdoor adventure and you see this footbridge right in front of you and it's over a chasm and you walk up to the footbridge and ooh, it's like a sudden sheer drop and suddenly your body begins freezing and shaking and you feel vertigo and you can't move. You're not going to go on that bridge. And then there's another family behind you and they say, excuse me, could you just get out of the way? And you step to the side and this little kid goes running across the bridge, just runs right across the bridge and then turns around and says to the parents, hey, come on over. And they just walk and meet the kid. And the kid could go across and you can't. You're stuck there, immovable. What are you going to do? That fear just throws you in the spot. Most of us wish we could just kill that fear. And I'm here to tell you, it's your best friend, and you got to be thankful that it happened right then and there. Fear is so unpleasant a sensation that we usually look at it as the enemy. We wish it could kill it, destroy it, erase it, eliminate it. And yet, because we always live in fear, the opportunity of fear, when it happens, if we know, bing, it's happening now, is exactly the signature, the shining light, the siren, the person who comes up to you and taps you on the shoulder. Right now, right here is your big opportunity in life. Because when you're afraid, it's the opportunity shouting at you that all you have to do is know that this is the opportunity for you to make a breakthrough in your life so that you've overcome, pushed the boundary, become more expansive, and at the other end of that is the confidence and joy you seek in life. It works this way. If you keep letting the fear conquer you, instead of you conquering the fear, your life gets tinier and tinier and tinier. Every time you let the fear conquer you, you allow the fear to make you smaller. And then if you know now, I'm telling you, if you know now that actually the moment you fear is the opportunity for breakthrough in your life, for greater joy and greater confidence, then see the fear as your friend. Yes, it's unpleasant, but it's the chance to be alive. How many of us are constantly saying, I wish someone would tell me exactly what to do so I could be fulfilled? This is, the fear can tell you. The moment you feel the fear and you begin to overcome it, what you discover on the other side of that is greater clarity in your life, because that confidence allows you to do the experiments which will allow you to discover what you really want to do in life. So the moment of fear is an opportunity to exercise the muscle of courage. The muscle, it's just like any other muscle, use it or lose it. In order to become courageous, you must do courageous things. And every time you're afraid, it's fear happens like that. Right now, when it happens, is your big opportunity. It's so simple. So in my life, in Toronto, they've got this big spire, this big tower. It's called the Needle. It's like 100, and it's equivalent to 150 floors up. And then they have this glass floor that's about 20 feet to the edge. And it's probably it's a foot thick, and people walk on it and they look down. And I stood there and I thought, big deal. I'm just going to walk it. It's a foot thick. I don't have to worry. I'm not the first person to do this. And as I looked over the edge, I just shook with such fear I couldn't move. And then next to me, these little kids are running up and back and in and out. And there were other adults who were laughing as they walked around on the glass. And I knew that right then and there, I had an opportunity. I couldn't jump on it. I couldn't dance on it like some of these kids, but I knew that at least I had to face that fear and do something. And this is the key. The key is when you have fear, do something immediately. Action, immediate action liberates. And so the solution is whatever I can, the biggest thing that I can at the moment, no matter how small, is what's going to liberate me and give me the breakthrough to the level that I'm available at the moment. And so I went down on my knees. I was going to just go on my stomach the whole time. But then I was afraid of what people would think. So I got back up on my feet and I just would go inch by inch, inch by inch, inch by inch. And I went all the way to the edge, and then I went all the way back inch by inch. And I was hoping, okay, after I do inch by inch for a while, I'll be able to just walk and relax. But nope, I was scared the whole time. And all I could do, the best that I could do at the time, was to go inch by inch. And I did. And I went there and back, and I released this feeling that I would have dragged around with me for the rest of my life, that I had the opportunity, I missed it. I didn't use it. When I say immediate, I had made a decision that I must do something then and there. So it took me a number of minutes to get beyond just being frozen, but I knew that I had to do something, and I did it. And that's the level I could go to. I'm not one of the people who could dance on the glass. Frightens me. Now, I might be able to push that farther. I might not be able to push that farther. But the main thing is, I felt the opportunity. I noticed I could sense that this is an opportunity. And so I want to tell you that it is now a part of my life that when I'm afraid, instead of seeing it as the enemy, I see it as the friend. It is exactly what I need to do in order to grow and become more confident and filled with joy. And the opposite of that is running away from it creates more suffering, in simple language. Let's look at how that hooks into the examples that I gave. So in the example where I don't want to go to my bank account because I'm afraid, what would be the immediate solution to that? If I'm really, really afraid and I can't lift up the phone and call, I can rehearse. I can record myself and do it over and over again and try different approaches. I can go online. You can type out what to say when you owe money. And there are some people who have some advice. There are things I can do. And at least if I do something immediately, it will liberate me. And I go to the level that I can go at that moment. in going into the fear and facing it. If I'm in a seminar and the seminar leader says, hey, I need a volunteer, and someone else does it quicker because I'm just hesitant, I can rescue the moment by saying, what can I do now that he already has a volunteer? So, I can raise my hand and say, I'd also like to do it. And people might laugh at that. Or I might just raise my hand and say, is there another one? Or I might raise my hand and ask a question. There are responses. It's not, do not walk away from there without doing something immediate. It liberates. And if you stand on the bridge and you see that the chasm and you can't move, and you can't move by yourself, ask someone to take you by the hand. Just stand there until you have an immediate action. Don't just leave, and do something with it. Do something with it. And you will then be exercising this muscle, and you will find that the more you exercise the muscle, the more you have courage, the more you have confidence, the more you have joy. Sounds good to me. So let me give you 3 steps so you can always do this. It's so simple. You just exercise it. Be forgiving to yourself, because it's not always going to look like it does in the movies, but you rise to the level that you can at the time, and you do something to liberate yourself. Immediate action liberates. So the first, step 1 is you identify you're afraid. Don't lie to yourself. Don't say, well, I'm not really afraid. Say, yes, I identify myself as afraid. The fear is gripping me. So now you know, and now you can make a clear decision you're going to respond. So the next thing is, after you know you're afraid, you label it as opportunity, not enemy, friend, not enemy. You say, hey, this is it. As bad as it feels, it is the great opportunity for me to make a breakthrough in my life. If you can at the moment, imagine what that breakthrough would look like. If you're afraid to stand at the baseball plate when there's a pitcher who has a fastball, you can imagine what it's like to hit a home run by using a fastball of the pitcher, or whatever it is. You can imagine what is it like to succeed in this particular situation. What does success look like? And you need to slap that against the fear that's coming at you, because what the fear is if I'm standing at the abyss, the image that I have is I'm falling into the abyss and I'm torn into 1,000 pieces below. Instead of that, I have a counter image to replace it. Okay, so that's the 3rd step. And then the 4th step is to take action immediately, whatever it is. And the 5th step is you don't kick yourself for however high you got. You celebrate that you took immediate action. You identified it, you labeled it as an opportunity, you imagined that image of success, whatever it is. And then finally, after you took action, you celebrate that you did it, because the real success is not whatever outcome there is from your response. The real success is facing your fear, because that is really what life is about. If you can face your fear and you respond immediately, you will have a life of growth and joy and courage, confidence. So I've put in the corner here a video in which I will tell you an exercise which you can do to strengthen your ability to express courage. All the best.